Well, welcome to the European Finals members only podcast. And James, this is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That guy up there supports Chelsea. He's Brad, European Conference League finalist Chelsea. Down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham, European Europa League finalist Tottenham. And boys, how are we doing? How you guys? I'm sure you guys are both feeling nice since we last spoke.
No, but excited for another European final. But no, I am not feeling good.
I am feeling great because we haven't played a lick of league ball in weeks, boys. I haven't even cared. So
does that continue
they're
this
just
week?
vibing in Europe. Oh yeah. Don't. If you got your hopes up of us beating Villa, kiss at it. Throw that right out the window, brother. We are playing. Might as well be playing the 16-year-olds.
Well, before we get too deep into all of this, if you could hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell. Big ups to whichever one of you guys hit that subscribe button last week. Got us up to 93 on YouTube. I don't know if in the next 2 weeks we can get to 100. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe send it to your friends. Ask your mother to subscribe to us. That'd be cool as well. Thank you for everybody who listens on the podcast sites. I think I did remember to upload it to the podcast sites this week. So, props to James, and apologies in advance if I forget to do it this week, but really do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and listening however you can. It really does mean a lot to us. So what do we have this evening or today, whenever you're listening? We're going to talk about round 36, the games that took place between Saturday and Sunday. Everything was over the course of 2 days. Some interesting results. We have a historic result, and then we had an owner on the pitch. So, let's get into it. I think we start with the history making one. Southampton picked up a point against Manchester City, so Derby County is still the sole owner of worst ever top division English football season on 11 points.
And absolutely wild that it was City that they picked up the magic point on.
Right, we're like, hey. This is the hardest game for them to get something from. They're not going to get anything from it. Yeah. No. I mean, Southampton didn't play football though. At least that's what Rodri said. And then got massively trolled for it.
We spent a whole podcast on this last week talking about this game, and then I think one of our parting shots was they're going to get a point against City and make us all look like idiots, and they got a point. I always think it's funny when the Manchester City players complain, whether it's Rodri or Bernardo Silva or whichever one of them, like they all like to say things like, oh, well, they don't try to play football, or, oh, they came here looking for a draw, or this, that, and the other. And they're always so butthurt when people don't come out and just roll over and let them play pep ball against them for 95 minutes. And it's like, what do you want them to do? Like, what do you expect Southampton to do against you? Like, not play defense, not let the goalie make saves. Like, what are you asking them to do here?
Ramsdale did have quite a few miraculous saves. Like, Ramsdale earned that point for Southampton.
Ramsdale earned something else during that game. He might have earned himself his 4th straight relegation.
He already did that.
Because he might. No, this is his 3rd straight. He might have earned a contract on next year's relegation teams, because I thought he was going to go down with the ship, but he's going to sign Ramsdale again because he's trash. But that performance might have gotten him another contract on, what do we got? We got Burnley.
Leeds.
Burnley, Leeds, and either Sheffield or Sunderland coming up. So he could be a goalkeeper on one of those 3.
Leeds need a goalkeeper. Mellier's had an awful year in the championship. He is super prone to errors. I don't know. It kind of seemed like Ramsdale was going to have bigger suitors than the.
I think so too.
I think he'll have more serious suitors than the relegation.
I think there was like West Ham.
The issue with that Ramsdale ran into last year was that Arsenal wanted a significant fee for him because he was good enough to warrant that. And none of the big boys were willing to pay a significant fee to Arsenal for it. I think that they'd be willing to pay a cut right, like, oh, we're getting relegated fire sale price to Southampton for Ramsdale. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, he's a good deal this summer.
Yes, he's a better deal this summer. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Southampton paid 25 for him, just for the record.
Yeah, I think Arsenal wanted 40 for him, I think.
Yeah, and then Southampton got the discount because that's his team, isn't it?
To be fair, I'm not sure if Southampton is. I think maybe, but I think they got the deal. I think they got the deal because Arsenal needed him out and they needed to cash in on him. They couldn't afford to have another year of him riding the bench. And he wanted to play, and Ramsdale wanted to go play somewhere. But I think Ramsdale is a 40 million pound goalkeeper to the right team. Like, I think he is that quality. But Chelsea had just bought Sanchez, and they also bought 8 other goalkeepers last year.
Yep.
Tottenham didn't need a goalkeeper. United actually do need a goalkeeper this year, but they didn't. They thought Onana was good, so I think Chelsea, United are reasonable landing spots for him. It will be interesting to see if Unai Emery keeps Emi Martinez around in the summer.
Yeah, that fall off is coming hard.
I think that there might be a world where somebody comes knocking for Emi Martinez, and Emi Martinez goes overseas somewhere, whether that's Inter or I know Inter have Jan Sommer, but I think Emi Martinez is an upgrade there. I don't know, like Juventus might need a goalkeeper. I'm not sure. Obviously, Madrid doesn't, but there are teams out there that might need. Some big name teams that might need goalkeepers. So, but good job, Southampton. Well done. A very, very well done Southampton Twitter admin,
yes.
Internet admin. You did a great job trolling this weekend. Congratulations.
I enjoyed the account very, very much. Great follow.
So, Brad, what happened at Reece James Park this weekend?
Reece James didn't play. That was the problem.
Is that what we're saying?
That's what happened. Yep.
Is that what we're saying?
No. Nicholas Jackson hopefully played his last game as a Chelsea player in the league, in Premier League.
Oh, he was the best striker in the league. I'm
kidding.
16 weeks ago.
Is this narrative? Is this online narrative about Jackson?
That was the X narrative that came out. That was the toxicity that hit. That was so stupid. And we played well enough. The second goal at the end was whatever, but we played well enough. We made Lavia made one mistake early on, and then we kind of got the ship righted, and then Nico decided that an elbow to the face was a great reaction for a ball that he couldn't get to.
I mean, he did it to Bruno, right? Bruno Guimaraes.
No,
isn't that who he elbowed?
That was a defender.
Oh.
It was it wasn't Botman. It was the other one. It was their center back. Yeah, Char.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Bruno Guimaraes could deserve it, but if it wasn't him,
probably. But
him.
No. Yeah, no. It was and it was straight red. Go to jail. Don't go to jail. Straight red.
Speaking of X narratives, Azpilicueta had a little fun with this. I don't know if you saw it, but he posted a extremely similar video of what happened with Jackson to what happened to him, and he said, Funny enough, it wasn't even a yellow when it happened to me.
Who did it to Azpilicueta? I can't remember.
Liverpool.
It was Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
I forget what player it was. It was Liverpool.
Almost same exact player. Right? He said, "Funny enough, not even a yellow. Not even a yellow when it happens to me."
Gotta love English and Premier League referees. They are the best, the paragon of excellence.
Yeah. Apparently, there may have been a Mings elbow last week or the week before that wasn't even called either. It was very similar to this too. So, look, it is a red card. I am not going to argue that it is not a red card. Sean, you texted in the group, "Hey, I didn't see it. Was it legit?" My first response was 10,000%. This is a red card every single day, except that it's not in the Premier League, and that's the problem. What? And they also did the still image, not the video, not the playthrough, like not the replay. They did the still image. He just walks up and sees this. It's like you have to, but again, it's not that I think that it's not a red. I just want consistency. That's it. That's all I want.
Forest Leicester. Forest had a beautiful chance to go above Chelsea in the table. Had they won their game against Leicester, they'd have been a point clear in 5th. They were winning 2-1, and a late goal from Leicester to tie the game. Some injury shenanigans.
Sublime assist from Vardy on that final goal, by the way.
Yeah. And then there was injury issues where there was a player who might have been injured, but they didn't.
He is injured.
Yeah, I know he is injured, but he might have been injured at the time. The physio was like, "Nah, he's good," and so Nuno made a substitution and used his last substitution window, which I kind of think is stupid personally. I don't necessarily like the 3 substitution window rule. I think it's a little weird, but that's a different question and different story for a different day. But then it turns out he was actually injured. He couldn't continue, but they had subs available to them, but they couldn't make a sub because they were out of substitution windows. And so they essentially had to play with 10 men and one person just kind of standing out there on the pitch, which led to the most interesting post-game happenstance, because the Nottingham Forest owner, Marinakis, comes out onto the pitch, walks out onto the pitch after the game, he looks like he's walking over to the player, and then he like stops and turns and says something to Nuno, and then he and Nuno get in each other's face and they walk off the pitch together. And it's just such a bad look. It's just such a bad look, but it's hilarious to see because, fast forward 48 hours later, Forrest put out this statement online. And they're saying that the owner is, he feels so deeply about the club and it's a family, and he was so concerned with the injured member of the family. And it's so very obvious, just like PR BS. And it's a very, very hilarious situation. Obviously not funny that the player's injured. So don't hear me wrong. I'm not laughing at the injury of the player. I'm laughing at the way that the club is presenting this now, as he's like a caring father figure who is just concerned about one of his sons being injured. It's just like, come on, who wrote this? Who wrote this post?
And
it's interesting. Go ahead.
And if you're Nuno, how do you stay after the season? How do you stay for the next game? What do you mean you're gonna come down here and lambast me at the end of this game when we're in the fight for European football? And
the problem is we don't know what was said. They do have
football, don't they?
What? Yeah, I think ball's in their court. So they played Chelsea last day, don't they?
No, I'm saying they have European. Yeah, it's a 7 point difference between them and Brentford, so they will have European football. It's just which one,
which flavor. But I mean,
yes,
we don't really know what Marinakis said to Nuno. Assume it's bad, but
it's really interesting for us three too to talk about this, and maybe Joel has a little bit of perspective with Mike Ashley, but I don't know. You just see images of Bowley in the stands. You see images of our lizard man in the stands, and I don't think Kroenke's ever been to Emirates before. I don't think
Josh has. Stan comes once. Stan comes once a year, but Josh Josh is in charge.
Your owners aren't even there, so they're not coming on the field. But the Lizard Man doesn't come out of the stands.
Yes.
No matter how bad it is, Lizard Man's in his booth with the AC. That's it. Or the heat, whatever the case may be.
It's got to be the heat.
He's got, lizards need to keep temperature controlled. He's not coming out into the elements. But it's so funny to think about just an owner coming out of the booth when none of our owners in your case would probably not be there, but our case are there but aren't going anywhere.
So there's precedents for this too. I think in the Greek league where 2 owners came out the box and started fighting, yelling at referees, yeah. So maybe I think it might have been him. It just makes me think of. I know he owns a great team.
Yeah.
So like he's seen it before, so he's like, oh, okay, this is what owners do. Let me go down there and this cause some trouble.
Doesn't he own Panathinaikos?
I think probably he owns some Greek.
No, the owner
or
Olympiacos.
The owner of Panathinaikos. The owner of Panathinaikos. Yes, it is. Yes, that is the same guy.
I thought so.
It owns Force. Well.
There's an issue with like ownerships and like Champions League and things like that.
Yeah, it just made me think of that video from somewhere in the Middle East of the owner in classic regalia chasing the coach or whoever down the pitch with a belt. Yeah. It just made me think like a belt could come off at any moment, and Nuno could get whooped.
It is Olympiacos, Nottingham Forest, and Real Ave are the three that he owns. Yes.
Parting shots for Manchester United and Spurs. The European Europa League finalists both lost 2-0 against West Ham and Palace respectively. Arsenal were doing their level best to lose 2-0 to Liverpool, and somehow salvaged a draw. Played the last 10 minutes down a man because Marino got sent off.
Yeah, so. And we'll be without your best striker, best healthy striker.
Yeah, it's tough. Well, the good thing is Calafiori's healthy, and Arteta did his level best to get all the left backs on at the end of the game. So he had I think Miles was still on. He had Kivior on. Zinchenko, Calafiori came on. So he was getting all the left backs on the pitch. So I think Tierney was on. Tierney was on as well. We might see an interesting left back match against Newcastle. So keep your fingers crossed for that Calafiori false nine on Sunday.
I'm here for it. Calafiori bagging a double. But check next episode for the real prediction.
Exactly. We'll be back Friday. You'll not want to miss it. So make sure you hit that sub notification bell so you're alerted when that episode drops on Friday, so you can hear my takes about how Calafiori is the best prima punta in the league. Hit us up on social media. That guy up top is at KSBradG. Down below it's at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we can be reached at redcard_radio. Again, check us out on Friday. It will be a preview of round 37, the penultimate match week, the penultimate round of football in the Premier League. So, sad days. But be back for that, and we'll see you then. Have a good one.